Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy. And if you saw my last video where I did a painting after I hadn't done one in a really long time, you saw that I had a pretty disastrous painting day. This is the same day. This is just the final bloom I did. I'm actually using a custom-made cradled wood board that I made myself using my XTOOL laser and MDF. And if you saw in the beginning where I flipped it around, I cut little notches in the back to make it easier to hang. So this is actually one of the things that intrigued me about lasers in the first place, was the potential ability to cut my own wood rounds, because as we know as artists, sometimes you would experiment more if your substrates weren't quite so expensive. So I mean, MDF isn't cheap, right? But it is a nice substrate to paint on. And I was like, maybe I can, make them myself. So little did I know there's so much more to lasers than just what I thought when I started. And I'm having so much fun with my XTOOL. Before I forget, there are affiliate links in the description box below. If you'd like to pick up a laser for yourself, there's certainly one below. But I'm also an affiliate of various companies. So check that out. I try to get you as many discounts as possible. So when I decided to do this, I was just exceedingly frustrated by my painting day, and I thought, let me just use up the rest of this pillow paint and be done with this stupid pillow paint. And then I was like, this isn't enough to cover this surface. So I went and I grabbed the Walmart satin pillow paint that I had decanted. I used to use the satin pillow paint from Walmart before I don't even think they have color place paint anymore, but it worked great on negative space swipes. But I had saved it to use it on cloud pours before I got the Vallejo pouring medium. But I had it decanted already, so I just came in and poured some on top of it. So I will self-disclose that my camera ran out of space. My computer ran out of space because I had too many unedited things on there. And my camera stopped recording before I finish the do-over on this. So hang with me, I will still show you a close-up. But if you just see the abrupt change, that's what happened. But I'm still sharing because, I think it's still worth sharing with you guys. But anyway, this is me merging the pillow paint. I don't typically do that, but at this point I was like, what's the harm? I've already got all this paint on here. So anyway, I did all of this on New Year's Eve. I hope that you all had a safe and wonderful New Year. Can't believe it's 2025. That's just crazy, So I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit just because you're not going to see the whole thing. And we'll get started. All right, this first color is Tangerine Dream from Colourarte, one of my absolute favorite colors. I really love these nice pastel colors at the bottom of a bloom, or even somewhere in the middle. I just think they create such beautiful color. And this is like a beautiful, like dusty pink, but it has a beautiful blue shift. It's gorgeous. So it's one of my favorites. I did mix that one up fairly recently. When I found out Colourarte was not going to make primary elements anymore, I was like, oh no. So I bought a couple of these and a couple of the other ones. I mean, I have a few duplicates kind of on standby anyway, because we know I'm a Colourarte junkie, but I was like, I love this color. They can't ever run out of it. And then this is Buttercup, another favorite of mine from Colourarte. And I don't even know if I end up using these colors in the final bloom. I can't remember. I know I end up using the custom green that I made, and I don't think I use it in this one. But let me speed this one up for you a little bit more. Okay, so this is Claret. This is not a primary element. This is a prism pour color. This again is a color I had mixed up for a long time, and I had recently thinned it out a couple of months ago, and then I didn't paint. So I'm trying to use up some of those colors that I invested all that Joe Sonia in to thin them down. So this is a Titan pale blue or light blue from Colourarte. Beautiful color. It's very similar to Australian sky blue from Matisse, which I like. This is Groovy from TLP. I mixed this up when I did the challenge, the Mo challenge, and he gave me all pinks and reds, and it's a beautiful hot pink. It doesn't really go with this color palette, but I thought, meh. And this is some turquoise color. I'm pretty sure this is turquoise blue from Amsterdam with maybe a drop or two of darker blue ink, but who knows? It's been mixed up a long time. And this is white boom gel. And then we're going to use a black cell activator. If you saw my last video, you would know that my cell activators were not fresh, and that was one of the reasons I was using a boom gel, is to give it a little bit of a fighting chance. Boom gel, when used sparingly under older cell activator, helps it to work well. It's not foolproof, and if you use too much, it eats it all up. But I freshened it up a little bit with a little bit of fresh Australian Floetrol, and just used a little bit of the white boom gel, and it did make it usable for sure. So, you know, for what it's worth. Now for this one, I was going to use the hair dryer. Part of what goes wrong with this bloom is I didn't kind of open up the cell activator with my breath first. So then when I hit it with the hair dryer, for one, my paints were very thick, and I just didn't have, I didn't go all the way around the circle very well. And part of that was because I didn't kind of open it up, and I should have not reblown in these places. I usually don't. I usually kind of let the cards fall where they may, but that one place where I just reblew, that part I'm pointing to right here is so messed up looking that I was just like, oh. But what's kind of a bummer is you can see the whole like section that's now on your left is beautiful, and it's just where I reblew it that's messy. What I should have done, and it's always easy to say that when you're not doing it, right? What I should have done is said, oh, well, I didn't get a good blow all the way around. I'll try to catch it with my breath. And if it's not perfect, it's not perfect. But I generally, in a bloom anyway, don't go over the same place twice with the hair dryer unless I can catch the cell activator well enough to not disturb everything that badly. And, you know, everything I'm doing to try to rescue this, I just keep dripping paint, and, you know, just, it wasn't going well. Now that I look at this though, I'm like, I think that the initial start of this bloom is better than the one I end up redoing. The one I end up redoing is it's nice in its own way. It has a section that I don't like, but I think this one, had I just not reblown those two areas, and I, you know, had just been okay with there not being a bunch of cells in that area, I think it would have been overall nicer. But this was just the way this day went. It was a horrible painting day for me, and I hadn't painted in months. So you know how like you want the satisfaction of being like, oh, finally, and then it was like, but you know, like 2/3 of this bloom is pretty cute. Like I love the bubbly cells, and I think I'm getting more bubbly cells because I'm using that satin paint. That's what used to happen when I would use the satin paint on the negative space swipes. I would get these fat, bubbly cells. I haven't tried a different brand of satin paint. I might need to try it. And that's before I even really tried the cloud pour. I just knew eggshell or satin was a pretty decent base. So, you know, for what it's worth. But like so much of this bloom is so beautiful. And now that I'm watching it, I'm like thinking, should I have maybe not poured over those stupid parts? But I'm fixing to pour over it. So we can savor all those cute little peacock bubble cells because they're about to be smothered in white paint. And I do end up keeping the second one, and I'll show you a close-up of how it ends, but you won't really see the creation of it. I did have to work for that one too. This was just not, like normally I can get my blow dryer out and have a great time. Is it going to be a perfect bloom? No. But normally, like, you know, pretty decent success rate. this day was just one of those days. And what's crazy is I almost started this painting day by doing a big bloom. I had just watched Karen from Waterfall Acrylics, and she had been doing this crazy big bloom, and I was like, you know, I ought to grab a big substrate and just go for it. I would have been so mad if I had wasted that much paint. So anyway, Tangerine Dream, I think this is as far as we get. I was just putting a little paint down, and then I think pretty sure the camera cuts off. So I will show you the close-up. Thanks for hanging out. I hope to be able to paint a little bit more. Yeah. Look how much paint was murdered today. Anyway, my camera stopped recording when I went to redo this, but this is the close-up. This has been a horrible painting day for me. There's some things that I like better about this one. The first one that I poured over, about half of the bloom was great, and the other half looked like this. So this half has less of this. This won't look quite as offensive once it's resined, but my paints were just way too thick today. On the bright side, I have emptied the naughty paint. This was done with Walmart satin paint, which I really didn't plan to use. It works fine on swipes, so far it's working okay on blooms. The only thing is it might cause a little bit more cell action. I don't really like this, but what am I going to do about it, right? So I like the colors. I did add this green in just so I could use it all up. I left a lot of cell activator in the middle, so it may get crazy as it dries. I also dripped some paint on it, and then I tried to mask it. It's just one of those days, you know what I mean? We all have them. But anyway, if it dries like this, I will probably resin it, and it'll probably be for sale. If it doesn't dry nicely, I will pour over it. So, but anyway, I'm sorry you didn't get to see the repour. I really did have to work some pieces out because the paint was so thick. When I was blowing it out with the dryer, it was like trying to engulf back in the center, so it was like I couldn't get to it fast enough. This part's really beautiful, and it has some nice soft colors. Even with that groovy in there, being a fluorescent, it still has some nice soft color action. I love this little area here. And I like this. I don't like this. And I took a little, I tried to like play into it like a watercolor type thing, and I came in here and I took my palette knife and I was like, oh, let's just follow this line and not have a clump of stuff. But at the end of the day, it just still, like if it was a deconstructed bloom and we had that, that would be okay, but it's not. But anyway, if you were to hang it like this, or like this, it's okay. I'm tempted to put my finger in this weird cell. But nothing has gone well today when I have done that. So I think I better not. We'll see if I don't do it off camera. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.